What is going on? Welcome to Heaven on Earth Astrology. I'm Michael, the Leo Mystic, and this is where I channel the astrological guidance for the week of the 25th until the 31st of October. And bye-bye October, and that means hello Scorpio season. And as you know, every change of zodiac season, I open currently, because Charlotte is going to join me in the Heaven on Earth community. The doors are open, and it's a place for you to learn everything about your own spiritual senses, to trust, to remain in your core. I've made an Instagram live talking about how important it is to stay centered, to be at your core. I'll link that in the description below. And it's also explaining everything about the community, why I've chosen to start that, why it is so important to be part of a community, and why it is so important to join the Heaven on Earth community, and how you can do that. So go and check that out, because I'm expanding it every single day with more features, and the price stays the same for now. So you might want to join. That's all I'm saying. Also, I want to say there is a workshop coming up. Don't have the fixed date yet. Will be around the 10th or the 11th of November. Pluto through the houses, the soul. Pluto is the soul, our evolution. It's the unconscious desires. Pluto shows you your soul's archetype, your soul's type. So you can have an eye on that. And there's also going to be a webinar on letting go of anxiety. All right. So in the month of Scorpio, the whole goal for, Heaven on Earth community, and also just in general, is to focus on topics related with the Scorpio energy. And I do want to talk about that right now in the forecast. The sun came into Scorpio. And the sun in Scorpio, is ready to expose deep truths. There's not, Scorpio has not been in focus. And right now, the sun coming there is bringing up fears, bringing up unwanted things, karmic relationships. As I said, deep truths, sacred relationships is the ultimatum. Karmic relationships is to go there, and a sacred relationship is a divine union with God, with Source. And that's what Scorpio is about. It's about awareness of forces beyond our control. And it pushes us into letting go. But we can't really let go of something. It means that we have to face that which is painful, that which is bringing fear into our life, and what we really want. And I think this month is the perfect month to discover that, because if you look at the Sun in Scorpio chart, Libra's on the ascendant, makes Venus important. Venus is in Sagittarius in the third house, starting to square Neptune. And that is this week exact. So the whole week, Venus is squaring Neptune. And let's talk about that. Venus squared Neptune is in Sagittarius about belief, especially because Venus is in that third house there of what we, talk about and thinking like that we know. But do we know? Do we know what we talk about? Do we know what we really want? Venus wants certain people appearing into our lives, especially in Scorpio season, that are optimistically saying, yeah, let's do it. But then get out of the game. And it's us, Venus in Sagittarius, like, yes, there's a mountain. Let's go and ascend that mountain. And then we kind of have a vision of how that should go. But along the way, we get distracted and we say, oh, maybe that's a better mountain. Or, just like someone breaks a leg and we have to go down, and just things don't go as we expected. And the reason is because it's a last quarter square. It's not the reason, but it's what we can learn from this aspect, looking at the last quarter square. is that it's an analysis of what we act on, what we believe, who we associate with, where we are distracted, where we are naive into believing, and do we really want this? That's reflection. It will also bring over optimism. And with Sun in Scorpio squaring Saturn in Aquarius, this is restrictions, and these are things behind the scenes that are happening, they're going on, and the media telling it's all fine, it's all good, there's nothing happening. But at the same time, Sun square Saturn, there's a limitation in what you can know, in what you can do, in who you can be. So, and it's mostly like group pressure, Saturn in Aquarius. Group pressure used to face certain rules. And that is, Sun in Scorpio is going to bring intensity to ourselves and is going to show us what we don't want and how these forces are controlling us and what we can do about it. Is what Venus then in square to Neptune is really teaching us. Where are we too naive? Where are we blindly believing something? Especially because South Node is there in Sagittarius. Another thing is, and that's the reason why I put myself here. If you can see this, this is Luna. All right, this is our baby. That's not a baby, it was our grandmother. Our grandmother here, Luna, mother. She's in Cancer right now. And I think you're feeling it. And it's, you know, the moon is playing an important role this week. She is, first and foremost, squaring Chiron, and that brings like awkwardness about our self-image and us defending ourselves, being protective and being, you know, very emotional, instinctive. And Venus and the moon in Cancer is going to oppose Pluto. And then the moon in Leo is going to square Saturn and square, you know, the sun, last quarter square. And really, these are all instincts. The moon is our, you know, our emotional life. And if we introduce Pluto and, you know, Sun in Scorpio, we're down to our instinctive behavior and acting according to our instincts. Our instincts are not rational, and they're not even, like, I would say at the very ground, they're not emotional. They're just survival, and they cause emotions. You know, these instincts are stored into our emotion, in our emotional life. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that, and this is what we talk about in Kundalini Yoga, if we have our instincts controlling our life, we are acting from the first, second, and third chakra, which is animalistic. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we consider, and if we go with the fact that, or if we believe that humans are here to evolve and consciously grow and work together and create their own uniqueness and act from love, being loving awareness, being universal human beings and not just, you know, human beings who are controlled by their instincts, and you know what I'm getting at, is that we are controlled by these lower chakras. We are acting from our instincts, and it could lead to frustration, anger, domination, egotism, and all those things. And that's what's happening currently. We are currently in the population of the earth is waking up, but I think we are being pushed in fears. We're being pushed into, you know this. If you watch this, you know that consumerism and, you know, just like being disconnected from nature and just like social media portraying images of like this is what you should be, and the media doing that too, and the government having a sort of, you know, agenda. Well, you know, this leads to us being away from our center, which is the whole reason why I have a passion to start the Heaven on Earth community, or I started the Heaven on Earth community with that purpose of help teaching people to go into their self-discernment, to stay centered, to stay in their core, to connect with other people who remind you of that, that you have to choose for yourself, from a loving, intentional way. And, that's what this week is going to come up, instinctual behavior. And that is not rational, and that is controlling, that's dominating, that is not letting go at all, but latching on to old ways of doing things. And I think, the people in power are acting from, or at least are hoping that we keep acting like that, and maybe they act from that way. I don't know. This is just something that apparently is in my mind. But when you act from power and trying to dominate and control, and the fear, which is what's going on, the patriarchy is crumbling down, and there's a certain kind of fear. We're seeing people waking up, and they know, and they see it, that people know in their hearts, they understand that we are disconnected from nature. They want to get back to nature. They want a different way of coming together. They want more community. They want more, just autonomy, and focus on meditation and love and growth and sharing with one another. And that's what they don't like. Those people in power, they don't want that. They don't like that. And this could lead, if we take into consideration this week, to neurotic behavior from their side, but also reflected back to yourself. Where are you neurotically behaving yourself? And that's why it's so important to get into the heart space and to transform that energy. That's what Kundalini Yoga does, or at least that's the intention, to not be controlled by our instincts, but to come into loving awareness. And I would say that's the invitation for this week. To be aware of our neurotic behavior, of our frustrations, angers, and letting them, be there, transform them, allowing them to be a mirror for ourselves, as into what we have blindly believed, and where we blindly, went chasing, and all those things. So especially by the end of the week, then we got Mars incoming to Scorpio. And Mars is our desires and our instincts. And Scorpio is the lust and the secretive behavior. So in a way, it's a new start, a new opportunity to act on those behaviors, on those instincts from a more healthy way. Mars is at home in Scorpio. It's really, I think, a very beneficial thing, in the sense that we can go deep, we can go and dig, we have courage, especially because the moon in Leo is going to oppose Saturn, which is going to restrict us in our expressive behavior and wanting to show us. And there's people who are going to say no, and the moon is also squaring the sun. So there is kind of an invitation to introduce courage in being that person. But Saturn is also semi-squaring Venus in Sagittarius, which is in one way restricting, or saying this is what you should believe. But Venus is at the same time sextiling Jupiter in Aquarius. So there's new ways that we can find, new ideas that we can come up with. There's a way out. There's a way out. And that's what this Mars in Libra squaring Pluto was really about, was that it was about transforming our actions, to demand justice, to seek for harmony in relationships, to, the way we shared our ideas with other people, or the way we wanted power, Pluto and Capricorn. That we have to find a new way, not masculine dominating force, but thinking outside of the box. And I think that's what this Venus in Sagittarius squaring Saturn is gonna teach us, like, okay, I found a way now to act on my beliefs. Saturn in Aquarius, Venus in Sagittarius, acting on my beliefs, ideas, and then Venus sextiling Jupiter, a new way, a new perspective, new ideas. These are invitations to really, really, really reach out to friends and people who are like-minded and share and work together, cooperate, bring the minds together and think outside of the box. And not necessarily like, okay, let's now think outside of the box, but just, sharing ideas. And because of it, new ideas will start to exist in and of itself. It is a natural process. And that's what this week is about. And I think that's really, if we are able to focus on instincts and sexual behavior and sexual desires and wanting to be in power, and be aware where we're doing that, and then just trying really, really, again, like I say it every week, so let's just keep doing it every week. Heart-brain coherence, being in the heart space, gratitude, appreciation, love, to focus on that. I think if we then, with that intention, connect with one another, we can transform so many old ways of doing things, because Saturn is starting to square Uranus again very intensely. So this is the last time. And the last thing I want to say is Mercury squaring Libra, Mercury in Libra squaring the nodes. There's important conversations, important ideas shared, important information that now is being redone. It went over that period. It's almost out of shadow period. It goes 3 times. Mercury travels, it travels back, and now it's the 3rd time to go then recover new terrain. So in your relationships, in your friendships, your sense of justice, everything to do with that, with your equality, seeing other people, a perspective that people offer you, there is extremely important chance to redo it. So I would really want to invite you to any relationship you have where there's an issue, to now go with an intention of that loving awareness, to bind, to connect, to find a common ground, to see the other person's perspective, to listen, really, really listen this week. Very important conversations and information is being shared. All right? So that's it. All right? Looking forward to see you in the Heaven on Earth community, and, to hear about you. What is your favorite aspect of this week? What are you looking forward to the most? What are you kind of scared of? Because we got Sun in Scorpio and eclipse season is here. Much love. Bye-bye. See you next week.